All right, boys and girls, it is Tommy, and I am reporting to you guys live from Marina del Rey in California, which is the Residence Inn we're at right here for an event out here in California, and what we will be talking about. So I got Mark Dority with me. We have a team gig happening here this weekend. Mark is working with us. We're very happy that he joined our organization here. The FTU is owned by Frequent Traveler Events, which operates multiple businesses. And Mark is here today. We're having a team get together. Mark has been working you've been in the industry for a long time, and also been up there in the loyalty program for Frontier, among other things, right?
That's right. Yep. It's I started in around 2004 with Frontier, and really brought the program at the time. Early returns was really kind of just languishing, kind of organic growth. It had just spun off of, it used to be a part of Continental, I think, at the time.
Right.
And rolled into its own. And so that was my first foray into this side of the business, and meeting Tommy and all the other folks that are around the business. So it's been a while, and I've popped around a little bit, client, customer, agency, that type of stuff. So now kind of got a full scope of everything.
Yeah. So it's great to have you on board, and also you have an insight. You follow all this stuff with everybody, so thought it would be a good thing. And we're going to try and do a lot more on site and a little bit more exciting in this room for the future broadcast. But thanks to everybody for joining us. We're going to chat a little bit today about some things that are going on in the biz as of right now. We've had a lot of pandemic is over. Let's make sure that we move right into a war, which obviously is terrible stuff going on right now, and it's not ideal for either travelers and anybody else, right? So it's just a very difficult situation for comeback in travel. And but what we're seeing here in the U.S. is that prices are just high, and it's kind of difficult moving around, and with higher gas prices, that's going to be an impact. But hotels are pretty crazy. The Residence Inn we're staying in now is like $450 a night. Obviously, we're burning up the last coupons we have left for the category 1 through 4. But yeah.
I mean, it's I feel like it's picking up a little bit, and I live in Colorado, and we've gotten rid of all of the mask mandates. Mm-hmm. And everyone's kind of roaming free, so I'm hoping that spreads out even more and more, and the hotels are starting to pick up capacity too, so I think things are looking up.
Yeah, I mean, for domestic travel, but I do predict that we're going to see what we saw last year. Everybody thought that this is the time to go overseas, but I think that people we're going to still see a lot of domestic travel. Don't you think?
Yeah, I think it's going to certainly start domestically, and then build from there. I think people are afraid if they leave the country, like what's going to happen if something goes wrong and I can't get back home. So I think there's going to be some reluctancy to leave initially for kind of the leisure casual travelers. Right. But I think business is just it's probably not going to go up to what it was pre-pandemic, but I think it's going to get back there pretty soon.
Right. Yeah, no, for sure. We've seen for Maxa Tours, which is Rudy Maxa's tours that FT Events also, or our sister company Megadu runs. We have seen quite an increase in orders in the last few weeks, which it's been dead for obviously 2 years. But we've had questions about, should we go to Europe right now? And the answer is you absolutely should. Okay, let's dive into the miles and points part of our gig here. So we're going to chat first a little bit about the Finnair's new business class. I want to talk a little bit about that first. And everybody has an opinion on business class, and especially Americans. If it's backwards or the seat touches the other, or British Airways sucks because the seat's too narrow, and all sorts of mumbo jumbo that's happening. I mean, if you for those who are old, obviously you're not even close to as old as I am, but from back in the day, it was kind of a recliner in United and business class up until like 2007. And it wasn't much more of a, so the pitch was like 54, 55, and now we're having a seat. But this Finnair business class seat is kind of a new gig, and it's kind of caught my eye because it's a little bit design wise. It looks pretty darn cool, and I like the concept of lounging. And they had kind of like the similar, like the run of the mill. Everybody has them, and everybody's like, "Oh, American Airlines, oh, I love you," with all that seat. It's got the Thompson, whatever it's called, the Super Diamond. I don't even remember what it's called. Don't care either. But it's the same seat. It's 1-2-1, and direct aisle access is great. Mm-hmm. But what we've seen is that there isn't a lot of privacy in these seats. You can see your dude that's over there, and you can see the dude. And what the remedy for that is to come up with some doors, which British Airways have done with their, but the doors are kind of like this, right? So I haven't tried the new British Airways. I've booked on it many times, but I haven't been actually on it. But you have these doors that are, I'm sure there's some sort of regulations, maybe.
I'm sure there is. FAA's got a regulation for everything, but I think the just having it up to a certain level, it's more like then you can notice someone if they're looking over top.
Right.
So it's more that than
flight attendant wants to see your if you have your seatbelt on and stuff like that.
Yeah. So it's not 100% privacy, but it still gives you. I mean, you're not going to be just looking across to someone. You're going to see a door and maybe the top of their head.
Right. So so let's take a look at the Finnair seats. So this So we have our dear friend who's also our media partner for the Loyalty Summit in London, our business to business conference there. And so Rob at Head for Points, he was. He wrote an article, and we're going to reference to him because he's the first blogger that I was able to find that has been covering this stuff, or that was actually flew the new business class seats first. This is the article he wrote back. Back in, or his Rice, who is this blogger that works for him in London. The entryway looks really cool, meaning you have like a little buffet going on. The design and the finish, the Finns have always been really good at the design thing. So you have the Marimekko, the Itala, which is the glasses that look like crystals.
Okay.
So it's like, I don't know if you're familiar with that, but they've got these really cool design elements. And for a country that's in and of itself very shy, they're not extroverted and things like that. And I think it's also one of the countries in the world with the least immigrants of any.
Really?
So you will never find, I've never seen any
Finnish expat
that I've seen, but we actually, Melinda and I met somebody on a hike, a couple of guys, and I heard they were speaking Finnish. It's a very distinct language, and we started talking with them on them. But so you'll see that, but you will not find the taxi driver, the guy who picked me up and drove me to the airport last time I was there, and the Uber guy, same thing. They're all local Finnish guys, and I Googled it because I thought it was so weird. But anyways, regardless, the glasses you can see on the right here, I don't know if it's easy to see. It's the same ones they've had for a long time, but design wise, I love the Finnish design. I think it's great. If we were broadcasting from our house, you would see that the espresso cups that I use are usually from Marimekko, and then the seat itself is kind of loungy, right? That's kind of the story. It's and everybody was like, "Oh, it doesn't recline. I want to have my." So people are probably kind of remembering the Singapore Airlines seat, right? So the Singapore Airlines seat, the previous generation, you had it didn't recline, but you were kind of on a sitting up, and I can see that one because it was kind of very up and down. If you want to lounge, if you want to have it into a bed, it needs to flip over, and when you flip the seat over, it becomes flat. never been a fan of that business class seat to begin with, because mostly because the leg room is just terrible. I mean, I'm 6'1" and I'm just not fitting in there.
Yeah.
So that's the annoying part to me. I think that when you have an airline that has, I think this concept of making the bed is nice, because then you have somebody who's familiar with it. You know, you've had 3 glasses of champagne, you're kind of, you boost up and you watch a couple of movies, and then you're going to make a bed.
Yeah.
That kind of isn't really the most exciting thing in the world, if you will. So so what Singapore Airlines are so attentive that they will come to
fix your bed.
Yeah, they'll be right there.
Yeah.
And it's, you don't have to wait. It's like here, if you have a Charlene from American she doesn't want to make your bed. She just doesn't want to. She wants to do union stuff, that kind of stuff. That's what they like to do. So, but anyway, so they're there. Boom. I mean, I remember when I worked for Singtel, I was flying to Singapore and I flew through Newark, and it was the only business class back in the day on the Airbus 345, and it was business. The whole plane was business class. I think like 70, 80 seats, something like that. And I had this lady, and I was in the bulkhead, and she was looking at me the whole time. And every time I made eye contact with her, she was like, "Get up, yeah, can I get you something?"
Just waiting for you to ask.
Yeah, and it's actually obviously became really annoying, but at the end of the day, it was just it's just the way it was.
But anyway, different level of service for sure.
It is. But even you flip the seat, there's a topper, and there's a nice comforter, and there's a couple of pillows and all that stuff. Still is no room for your legs though. And we, obviously you are also taller than I am, so that's kind of not a cool thing.
Yeah.
All right, so let's look at how it looks in this. He got the truth. Let's not beat around the bush. Let's go to the the article itself that we did, that he wrote earlier this week, where he was actually on it. He took it from, Finnair, for years, they've flown a 350 or a 330 to Heathrow to Helsinki, because they're hauling a bunch of cargo.
Okay.
So they have like one daily, maybe two, or depending on the pandemic. I don't know what's going on with that, but yeah. So he had David Kondo, who's the head of design at Finnair. Nice guy. I don't personally know him, but he is definitely on the ball on the design elements of things. And I think that to summarize the seat, what Rob is writing here, right? It's very good. Ignore the fact it doesn't recline. Ignore the lack of a door. It's a practical, cozy private seat, which is well ahead of the current one, and which itself is well ahead of BA's Club World. So I think that that's kind of his beginning chat of things.
Okay.
And the Finnair seat that they had before is kind of the same as American has, right? And then Cathay has. It's the same seat.
Yeah.
So here it says the picture. I mean, you go to headforpoints.com or just Google Head for Points and Finnair's new Finnair business class seat. That's how you can read the review yourself. I completely recommend it. It looks like it's a 1-2-1 layout, which is which people now are expecting from, but it obviously it's really wide. That's kind of the first impression that he had. He's 6'2", right? Yeah. So close to 190 centimeters, 190 centimeters, which is a huge amount of space. He says you're in no way cocoon in the seat, which is good to a good extent that you can move around. And it is not a sofa style padding, not unsurprising for an aircraft seat, but of course this seat is pitched as being more of a sofa style experience. So I mean, looking at the seat itself, it looks extremely wide.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of like as wide as the Cathay first seat, right? So it to me looks like something that has it is the fears that he had. We get to the piece that's important here. The reason the seat doesn't recline is that it doesn't need to. That's a pretty straightforward statement right there. And, you are meant to lie down on this flat area. So he's 6'2", and as you can see also from the pictures here, if you go to the what we're showing on the screen here, he has plenty of room left at 6'2". So he flew. The flight was 3 hours from Heathrow to Helsinki. So he didn't get the duvets or the pillows or anything, blankets or anything like that. So he didn't get the full impression of things. But as you can see, you can't see jack. Look at the picture here. It's complete privacy for all of the suites because you can't see, so somebody's going to walk by. But at the end of the day, if you walk by, Etihad first, if you walk by the new British Airways door, if you walk by what is it called, the JetBlue,
the Mint.
You walk by the Mint, you can see everything in there. You can see over the thing. So I assume that's the only seat that you can't see anything. That must be Air France, La Première on the 777, where the French. The French are good with the food and all that stuff, but everything else kind of sucks. The cars, they break down, and everything just don't like them make anything mechanical. They shouldn't be doing any of that stuff. Yeah. But the Air France seat, it's like, I think they had like a session when they came up with that seat. They had a session where they were talking together, and they were like, you know what? Let's drink some vin, and we came up with a good idea. And the solution to how to make it private. It's a curtain.
There you go.
You draw a curtain. It goes from the ceiling all the way down. In the first suites, you draw the curtain, and it's 100% privacy. It's brilliant.
A simple solution. There you go.
And it's absolutely brilliant. Too bad that, it's very difficult to, Russian spammers today. I got to tell you, I think that you should go away for a while. But that's just me. Let's see here. We get these chats where they put to where you can go buy yourself a Russian hoochie mama. They come in and they post in the comment section here all over the place. But that's okay. So, all right. So I think we're gonna say that. I think. This is a thumbs up. This is something I'm looking forward to. I have a flight with them in June, and hopefully what will be the new business class if there won't be any changes. To me, it looks brilliant. I think it is. It's highly recommended. There's a lot of space. Great solution. Here we go. There's the food. There's the Marimekko cup that you can see on the right there, and then the Itala glass in the middle. The sign's brilliant. Not sure if they're, we'll see if they're going to do. They had these blankets from Marimekko. The design is beautiful, but we'll see if that's going to be the case. Jamie is at Costco and filling up in California in his car, but that's okay.
So your flight that you're going to take, is it? How long is it? Are you going to get the full Monty? Flight?
Yeah, I'm gonna. It's Stockholm to LA. So 12 hours. So I'll get the full Monty and a half. I'll be able to get drunk twice.
There you go.
So I think that to me, it looks pretty brilliant. I like the way the seat looks. I think that it looks amazingly cool. And I can't wait to try it. That's the story there. And if you are going on it, please comment in the comment section below. Most of you are obviously watching this later, but at the end of the day, you can still comment in the Frequent Travel University Facebook group, where we talk about all sorts of things and about that. So let's move on to the next subject I want to talk about today, which is the Hilton Honors Hotel Loyalty Program. And are you a member of the Hilton Honors Program?
I am. I have never really been a frequenter with Hilton. I've kind of gone with two other programs where I've held most of my allegiance. So I'm interested to hear what we're going to talk about, because my insight is a little light on this.
Right. So hotel loyalty today, we were talking about that a couple of weeks ago when we were chatting about how if it's worth it anymore to do hotel loyalty.
Right.
When Jamie and I were at the Travel and Adventure Show, we did a broadcast about that to go through the Marriott changes. And from somebody that's professionally works in the has worked on the other side of realm of things, do you think that these loyalty programs that are out there, that they understand that there is some sort of point that you get to where the value kind of diminishes?
Do I think they understand that? I think they know that there's a point in time where that happens, but they're trying to push that out as far as they can,
right?
And that's where trying to personalize the program so that you don't hit that decline, that you don't fall off the cliff, basically.
Right.
So I think a lot of that is, I think the airlines are a lot more intuitive on that at this point. But hotels are just a little different beast, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, the beast is fairly straightforward. If you want to so you live in Denver or in LA, unless you kind of have two options here. You have Frontier and United.
Yep.
Those are kind of the two you have. But in LA, you have thousands of hotels to choose from, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
And you can't. Expedia can't just put a plane up in the air to fly between here and Denver like they can go and find a hotel. So it's obviously tougher. And also a lot of the hotels that you are in, the one we're in now, among very many. Well, actually, I don't know. Because, in 2013, I remember there was the first year 2012, first year we brought the Freddies back.
Mm-hmm.
We decided we were supposed to have it at Newark. But then United had their, I've always been a fan of having cool venues for the big events that we had. And we were looking to have it at Newark, but then United backed out because they were going to host it for us. They backed out because they had to, they got a recall on all their Airbus 319s and 320s. They had to replace a module, so all the hangars were busy.
Yeah.
So they I can't believe that the priority was to have their planes flying instead of hosting us. I just till this day, Jeff Folan and I had a conversation about way back when. I can't believe your priorities, Jeff, if you're watching this. But anyway, so that was one of 18 hotels that Marriott owned. So 18 hotels before the mergers. Obviously, Starwood owned a lot more properties.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But Marriott owned 18 out of like 5,000 something properties. So it's franchise. And as we could see from various commenting on the internet, it's pretty darn interesting to see how the resistance of giving benefits when you're at a hotel as an elite.
Yeah.
So, even the breakfast is obviously a big gig, upgrades and things like that. Upgrades doesn't really need to cost very much.
Right.
Like, for example, here we are now. Would it cost something for us to get upgraded to a 1-bedroom instead of the studios that we're in right now? Your rooms is the same as this one, right?
Same as this one.
Yeah. So none of us were lifetime titaniums, and Jamie's also titanium, and all of us are kind of have status. But would it be nice to have a 1-bedroom? Sure, but it's not necessary. But at the end of the day, it would be a nicety that doesn't cost them any money.
I think where that comes into play is we're here. Yeah, we're here a short time, but if we're here for an extended period of time, then I think it makes sense where you can interchange those things. Yeah,
upgrades. You always get the upgrades when you don't need them.
Yeah, exactly.
When you're a business day, so that's when you get them.
Yeah.
Let's dive into the Hilton Honors thing. So Hilton Honors, they've kind of started. So this is Katie that's written this article, and I know she wrote it a while back, and they keep updating that. So it's an interesting gig. But Hilton has kind of won its way into my heart as the second program. I'm lifetime titanium with Marriott.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a Marriott person, even though I had Marriott Platinum for a while, for a long time, just out of credit cards and events days. I didn't stay at, so it just had it as a thing. Marriott is kind of like the Continental of it used to be. Marriott Rewards used to be the Continental Airlines of the One Pass was like Marriott Rewards. It was like they decide what you need and you don't need. Oh, you don't need the upgrade. Oh, you don't need this. Oh, you don't need that. Oh, you should be thankful for us being here and stuff like that. And kind of the appeal to the Marriott customer has been puzzling. I mean, I talked to Gary Leff about this many, many times. The appeal is to the classic Marriott customer. I think we found out that it's familiarity. You walk into a Marriott hotel anywhere in the world, and it has the same yellow, ugly color. Well, not anymore. They've changed it. But back then, same ugly color. The amenities are the same. You will find the X amount of towels. It would be the same manufacturer and all that kind of stuff. Marriott, to me, is like calling them right now, if you have a Bonvoy thing, is hours. And I really don't try and call very much. And I kind of try and avoid to do that from the get-go. Calling yesterday to have your room added to the reservation. It was like they called me back after about 20 minutes. And that was reservations, not, Marriott Bonvoy. That's for, hey, we want to give you money. Yeah. That line was 20 minutes. So, and also they've cut back on benefits, the breakfast at the Residence Inn, and where there's going to be a review of this one. This one is supposed to be better than the one we did in DC. The same is set up here, but they've kind of driven me away because of there just isn't any value to having they increase the pricing, the benefits that you promised with the credit cards, with the vouchers you get are changing now in a couple of weeks. It's supposed to category 1 through 4, or not category 1 through 35,000, whatever. Category 1 through 4 is higher. Yeah. But the 30, you have one voucher that you get with a credit card that's 35,000 points, and then you have one that's 50,000. So you kind of, but they are the rates vary, right? Right. And they're going to vary more, and also some of them are going to go up. So the value of those vouchers are going to go down. So the value of the credit cards went down. So. I did sign, in anticipation of this, I started to shift over some stays over to Hilton. And I stayed last night at the first LXR, which is their upscale super brand in Santa Monica, which is hardware is phenomenal, minus the bed was kind of weird. Well, you're going to have to watch the review. I'll put the link in the description below about that. But what we saw about that hotel is that, it's the first one. There's one in Kyoto. There's one in, I don't know where the 5 other ones are, but there are 5 globally. So they're kind of moving into a 1,000+ thing. And they're moving forward with other stuff. They are moving forward with the Conrad, or what's it called in Vegas? Resort World? Is that what it's called? I think it's Resort World. I don't know. Different brands of Hiltons together. Yep. And then also they took over the Waldorf Astoria
in New York.
And also the Mandarin Oriental in Vegas is now a Waldorf Astoria also.
Oh, I didn't know that. So
they're moving into the more luxurious space, because what you want to do when you're in the hotel loyalty program, obviously, is to earn high when you're on the business thing and credit cards and all that stuff. And then burn at high-priced properties. It's usually the way you do things, or in an ideal world. And up here on the coast, obviously, that was a great redemption. I didn't redeem for that hotel, but it's 95,000 points. But they've changed the way that they do breakfast now, right? Okay. So breakfast is kind of so they if we look at the benefits for Hilton Honors, right? Silver. Is so the base member, you get free standard internet in your room. So that's pretty much the way for them to lure you away from OTA, also online travel agencies. So the Expedias and the guys like that, hotels.com.
Yeah, direct bookings is what they want.
If you book directly, you get the free internet. That's kind of, you just have to be a member in order to do that. And you don't get, some hotels will actually, kick you in the nuts on that and say that you don't get the free internet if you are on a third party. It happens. Yeah. And then also, this is the biggest thing about Hilton, which I think is important, is that when you earn your points and you're redeeming them, you don't pay resort fees on award stays.
Oh, I like that.
So that also goes for the base level. And ability to request late checkout. It's like, that's pretty much his pound sand. You have to go down and do whatever you want to do with all that stuff. And a second guest can stay in your room for free at hotels that charge for double occupancy. Also in the base level, which is sometimes happens in Europe. They will jack up the price because of breakfast or whatever, and things like that. So digital keys and stuff. So let's move over to silver. And silver is 4 stays or 10 nights. Of course, there are shortcuts to how to get this stuff, which we will cover in a little bit. But yes, so you have the first thing, the biggest perk here, obviously, you get 20% more points. And you get elite rollover nights. You get 2 bottles of water per stay. And then you get the 5th night free on award stays when you book on points. Not when cash on points, just the points, I think. Points. So it's something that I miss with Hyatt. Hyatt doesn't have that. Marriott does, and Hilton does. So I think that that's a gig. But at the end of the day, silver can easily be had, but there are credit cards, Hilton credit cards you can sign up. We're going to cover that. That gives you, I don't think you can get a Hilton card. I think that Hilton card, you get gold immediately after signing up for a card, or diamond. So we'll get to the credit card. We'll go through that. So Hilton Honors Gold, so historically have been what we call the breakfast card, right?
Yes.
So when there is no Marriotts, there's no Starwoods, or where there are no Starwood hotels, SPG properties, no Hyatts, it's good to have that Hilton Honor status and gold status because it gives you free breakfast. So it kind of doesn't anymore. With the pandemic, domestic hotels, they are giving you, so here's continental breakfast for you and another guest registered to your room, either as a My Way members benefit or a brand amenity. So these hotels will give you, when you're outside of the U.S., you get breakfast. Right. I mean, you're taken care of for the breakfast bit. I have not. I'm sure there are hotels that are being anal about, we're going to give you continental breakfast. But you go to Europe, they give you the buffet, right? And the buffets in Europe are substantial. Same in Asia. So it's here in the U.S. where we want to be. So the dining credit now is, let's look at the dining credit and see what. Extended and improved. So instead of getting free breakfast in the US, you get, let's see, you get, so here's the overview. So I think that diamond and gold are the same. So you get $25 per person per day at Waldorf, Conrad, and XLR. $15 per person per day at the mid brands, and then Hilton Garden Inn gets $10 a day, which is like the Courtyard credit that you get, food and beverage credit that you get. Which not in any shape or form is this an upgrade for anybody. Right. It's not enough. So we stayed where we stayed last night. So Melinda and I had for this morning, I had 2 double espressos, which I always have for breakfast. And then she had a cup of tea. I had a lox bagel. She had an avocado toast. Nothing fancy, just toast. No eggs or anything extra on it. And the $15 bakery basket. That's what we had for today. Yeah. It was with tax and tip. It came to $112 for that. Tax and tip, and their healthcare 5% for healthcare. I mean, come on, when it's $1,000 a night for the room, bake that into the freaking price, for crying out loud. But anyway, so it's $25% mandatory added to the bill for the place we were at. Wow. The LXR, 5% plus 20. So it's not going to cover the Waldorf Astoria, the LXR, or the Conrad. It's not going to cover any of that if you want to sit down. I mean, there was one of the bloggers or one of these guys who were like, oh, it's great, I can go to the bar and have whatever. Yeah, I don't eat breakfast. Yeah, okay, you don't eat breakfast. Fair enough. Yeah. That's fine. But at the end of the day, if you do eat breakfast and you're going to sit down and have a nice meal when you're on vacation, it's not covered. It's as simple as that. There's not enough. So I think that's a weakness, and I think they need to go back to what they used to have. Oh shit! I forgot to show. Sorry, I forgot to do this tab. Here's the breakfast benefits total. Sorry that I missed that. I got a comment on that. So hang on. We'll go back to the other tab right now. So here you can see the various benefits, how they work out, things like that. So going back to the so the gold level is easily obtainable. I've always had it through my American Express Platinum card.
Yep.
And so forever, I've had that card since as long as I can remember, and it comes for free with this card. It's definitely a value if you want to stay. You don't have to really do much with that. So, and moving on to the top tier, which is Diamond. So what's the other stuff that you get? You get bonuses for mileage bonuses and things like that. Upgrades. All the way up to the executive level. You get, I wouldn't say that, you get as many upgrades as you do with Hyatt and old SPG. Some of the old SPG properties still treat me fairly well. But then again, Lifetime Titanium, which is a level above gold. But I mean, the breakfast is big. The extra points you get is big. And that's kind of the gig. But moving on to Diamond, which is the only top tier where you can actually buy. So you sign up for the Hilton Honors credit card, the Surpass. I think we're going to look at the cards in a little bit. Okay. And when you sign up for this card, here's Marshall. Let's bring in Marshall so he can have a part of the discussion as well. Jackson, are you there?
I am here and slowly finding the right button to put.
We'll keep him in there so he can. There we go. How you doing, partner?
Not too shabby.
How was your trip to first business trip after the COVID?
First business trip of COVID. It was fine. Atlanta was wide open. I don't know what else to say.
Right.
Cool.
Everything went fine. As far as I know, I didn't get the COVID, and
Yeah. I hear that getting the COVID sucks, actually. So, but
yeah.
I actually, Melinda's mom got the COVID here 3 or 4 weeks ago, and she's 79.
Yeah.
It was like she got the snivels, and she didn't even notice it. She just out of maybe you should test yourself, and she was like, I don't think so, and she went and tested herself before she came over to us, and she had it. So that was interesting, but good to hear. So anything else? I mean, I saw that we're talking about Hilton Honors, right? Are you a member of the Hilton Honors?
I am a member of the Hilton Honors.
What level are you at?
Gold. Nothing
gold.
Special.
So that's the meat and potato level, right?
Yeah, that's me, meat and potatoes guy.
Yeah. And to be honest with you, that's the level that I've been also. I did sign up for a credit card, but I did the $95 one because we had that event in DC right before Christmas.
Right.
And when we had that event to begin with, when we had to pay quite a bit of cash, right? So since so I signed up for the card. I didn't have a Hilton Honor. When they nuked the city one, I was like reluctant to get another American Express card because they kind of give you X amount per life and all that stuff. But I signed up for it and I got 180,000 Hilton Honors point for just signing up and spending like $5,000 or $6,000. It was not a big number. Sure. And for some reason, that card is not supposed to give you anything else but gold. But I became Diamond I have no idea how that happened. And I didn't call Mark Weinstein or anybody we know, and anything like it just appeared in my account, and I'm not gonna say no to what happened. I called the Hilton Honor people to talk about something else and just had it. But there isn't much difference though between the two, right?
Not in my opinion. At least not anymore.
Well, it's the same breakfast benefit, right?
Sure. was it $25 or something like that? I forget what the credit is, to be honest.
Yeah, it's 20. We were going through that earlier. It was $25
Yeah.
is how much you get per person, which is
Yeah.
25 for the higher end brands, just for the Conrad, the Waldorf, and
Sure.
the LXR. The regular brands underneath that are $15, which is, you know, 2 coffees and a yo-yo. So
Yeah.
it's not really that much anymore. So, but outside the US, you still get the full breakfast. So I guess it's still a good gig there. But upgrade wise, what's your opinion there?
Most of the time, business hotels are where I'm staying. I just need a bed and a bathroom, and and functioning internet. I'm fine. The upgrade benefit, yeah. The
Right.
upgrades, I appreciate them. I've had some really nice ones on business trips, and then personal trips. I get a single wide bed and nothing else. So if I'm really doing something important personal wise, I'll usually just pay for the room at the hotel I want, and kind of eschew loyalty benefits anymore nowadays.
Right. Yeah, it's just so I feel like, let's take a look at the credit cards though, because it's kind of easy to get. And, my stays have been domestic. And let me look at so Hilton, so it's $450, I think it is for the cards that
top
you
tier
can
card.
get.
Yeah.
So the one that I got, let me see here. I don't know if these are the highest bonuses. So let's make sure that we here we go. So if we take a peek at these, this is what they have for now. I think you're gonna see it over there. It should be coming up soon.
Yep.
And looking at these, it is 3 different ones. There's one that's free, no annual fee, which is called the Hilton Honors American Express card. 70,000 points for signing up when you spend $1,000. And then the Hilton Honors American Express Surpass card is the one that I got, and that had 180,000 sign up bonus. I'm sure it's might be out there. Please comment, guys, if you know any better deals than what we're looking at here. And that one comes with, if I remember, there is a free night also that comes here. And then you have the Aspire card, which is the one that's $450 a year, which gives you priority pass and also diamond status without spending a dime. So let's look and see what the benefits are here. So the regular card, it's just, you get a ton of points and that kind of stuff. For the, I don't know what the free night awards, there's always a bunch of, so here, you get, so here we go. So the free night award, turn everyday purchases into a free night award, earn 70,000 Hilton Honors points plus a free night reward after you spend $1,000 in purchases on the card in the first 3 months. So you get a free night and 70,000, which is fairly a good deal. I don't know what the cap is on that, but I'm sure there's a cap, maybe 50,000 or 60,000 or 70,000. Sure. Who knows? And then we have the let's see here. The other one is this one. How do we get the picture to be bigger on that? Okay, here we go. There we go. There's the Surpass. That's the one that I got, which gives you also a free night plus 130,000. So it's probably about the same as we had before. And this is the one I recommend getting. I mean, I don't see the value of the diamond, to be honest with you. This one, if you spend $40,000 on this particular card, you get diamond also, which is, it's just silly to do. But I do think that, there is potential value here for getting like 2-3 nights at a very, very high end property, thousands of dollars. I mean, if you redeem where I was last night, 95,000 points per night, and you get a free night. I don't know what the limit is for that night. I'm sure you can't get a 95 one, but with the spend that you get, a couple of nights here, you literally, the value for the $95 annual fee for me would be, over $2,000 just for that welcome bonus redemption. And if you go to Bali or something like that, then you get an insane amount of gig, right? And so the difference with the top card is obviously, let's see here, what the top card is offering is it's called the Aspire card. You're aspiring to spend $450 on another credit card. So that's what we're aspiring to do.
I have too many of those already.
Yeah, no kidding. I'm aspiring to have less of those, to be honest with you. But so 7x, so it's 14x on Hilton's purchases, which is, substantial. I think the other benefits that you get also on this card is it is let's see what it's interesting that they don't have a it's not popping up on the let's see what the benefits are for these cards. Not the top one. Let's do this one instead, because Amex has it on the website, and it's never mind the this is the base one. There's the Aspire card. I just want to see what's included with the 450. You get the Diamond status, of course. That's a big one. You get the free weekend awards. And, once a year, you get a free weekend night. You get a statement credit when you stay somewhere. So I guess that's kind of an interesting gig that you get that. You get an airline fee credit for $250. Priority Pass Select. It kind of pays for itself, this card, doesn't it?
Yeah. I think you can make the math work on that, especially if you tend to stay at a Hilton on occasion.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I didn't see it in the future, to be honest with you, in my future. So I did the 95 a year card, and also because the sign-up bonus was just better on that. And it seems that that's still the case, that the sign-up bonus is still better on the other one. So that's why I got that. Right. All right. So we talked a little bit about, I would venture, Hyatt is my go-to when it comes to hotels. You're doing this thing. Are you still doing the Kimpton thing?
When I get a chance, ironically, my first hotel, the first business trip included a stay at a Marriott Luxury Collection property in Atlanta. So I wasn't able to renew my love for Kempton, at least on this business trip, but we'll see about next time.
Cool. Yeah. Right. So I'm going to venture into saying that I'm moving Hilton into second place. I'm doing that, even though with Lifetime Titanium for Marriott, I'm moving Hilton into second place. I'm not going to upgrade to that card. I'm just, the earning is very close with both. And if I can't find a Hyatt, I think, I'm going to promise myself to go to Hilton.com instead of Marriott.com moving forward. Before, I think that's there is the only thing. I mean, domestically, the breakfast is the difference. That's my only, the only Achilles heel in my book, right?
Sure.
That you don't really get breakfast. You get some of breakfast. And at the place we were right now, it was, a tea was $8, a double espresso was $12.
Oh, absolutely.
So that's, pretty much $25 per person. So
sure,
it's impossible. So I do think they need to fix that. I think Hilton needs to step up and go back to what they had before the pandemic. There is domestic demand at hotels. They're more expensive. I don't know how it was in Georgia, but
I had a contract rate, but which was fairly reasonable. But I can tell you the hotel was packed. The lobby was full every night. It was bustling.
Yeah. So, Jamie is commenting in the has went out and get what's the room number 6?
17.
Jamie is here bringing up a couple of TVs. We're trying to save some money. They wanted to rent the TVs for the FTU tomorrow. We wanted 2 TVs here, and they wanted to rent the. They wanted to. Wow, Russian spammers are alive today. 607. 607.
Yeah.
All right, so we are buying a couple of TVs from Costco. It saves us a couple of $1,000.
Oh, I would.
Pretty cool. Pretty cool gig. Let's talk a little bit about Neeleman. Neeleman, he's a friend of ours. He's opened up his new airline there, Breeze, and he's gotten a couple of those Alabama buses. And I think that the Alabama buses must be the most comfortable plane on domestic U.S., right?
I think they'd have to be. You're talking about the A220, right?
The A220, yes. The A220 is what does he got? 36 first seats?
I'm not sure about that, but
I think it is 36. Let me go in and take a look here.
Yeah.
I had a window open.
I guess that'll make the new Savannah to Los Angeles route profitable for them.
Yeah, I mean, I saw some good. As you know, Melinda's dad lives in Newport News, and they open up. Let's just play around with this website a little bit. I think that's the best way to do it.
Yep.
They open up a lot of routes, and his map is just weird, right? It is all sorts of strange things, but then again, he's the only guy on this planet who has started multiple airlines, all which has made money and made their shareholders rich, right? I mean, we can't deny that, right?
I can't say I expected JetBlue to last, but I've been proven wrong. So there you go.
Yeah, and another Russian spammer. Wow, you guys! So it's these comments. They come in and they comment. You guys should be ashamed of yourself right now. Seriously, guys, at this point, come on. And, let's see here. All right, so the map. Let's start from San Francisco. We're going to go visit Melinda's dad, and from San Francisco they go to Charleston, South Carolina, which is interesting. Louisville, Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
Richmond, Virginia, which is close to where he lives, and San Francisco to San Bernardino. I didn't even know there was an airport in San Bernardino. Did anybody know that?
No, you do. I didn't know either.
All right, so here we go. We have the early bird sale has passed for sure, but let's go into a normal day here. So let's look at the seat map of this thing. So it's nicest, right? That's first class. He's not messing around.
No.
9 times 4 is
36.
Exactly. And these first seats on the 220, they have leg rests, like serious leg rests. We're going to take a look at the picture in a little bit. So, the nicest seats here are $204.
Wow.
So you have a serious reclining seat, 2+2, first class. Of course, you don't have the same service. You get snacks, but it's not like, but then again, what did the other guy sell, give you? I don't, it's just junk anyways.
You're paying for the seat anymore, and that's it.
Right. And would I pay $204 to fly one way to across the country in 5-6 hours in first? Hell yeah.
I'm thinking so. Absolutely.
And also when you go behind the curtain, you got 2 rooms of extra legroom seating, and it's a 2+3 on the C Series Bombardier, which is now the Airbus 220, right? So you got 1 middle seat in each row instead of 2. So you've got, the number of uncomfortable poor sons of bitches is 50% less because there's only one middle seat on this plane
Yeah.
in each row. So let me tell you, this is how we travel. I mean, it's so you got, what do you get included in these prices that he's offering? You get a bunch of stuff. I think you get let's see, what is the nicest? So here we go. Here are the nicest, and the no change fees. Well, you cancel till you're just about ready to go. You cancel. You have no change fees and no cancel fees, but you get a reusable credit that's valid for 24 months. You get a personal item, and you get breeze points. So you got to pay for bags for this one. For $100 more, you get those extra legroom seats. It is in addition to that, so you get the 2% cash back or points or whatever, and then 4% on the nicer, which is the extra legroom, but it's just $10 more to go up the first. So why would you do that?
Right.
So you get extra legroom, you get a carry-on bag, you get one check bag, you get drink and snack. I don't know if that means booze or not, but who knows? And then you get priority boarding. Then for the nicest, which is the first class seat, you get 6% breeze points earned. You get the first class seats, 2 check bags. And so, boy, this is, I think that
that looks like kind of a deal to me.
Yeah, no kidding. Let's look at Ben. He had the map of his Ben's sloppy. He had an article on the with an overview over the of the new routes on a map.
That's where I first learned of the new Savannah LA route, I think.
Yeah, no kidding. Let's see here if we can search better in his own one. Let's see if it's here. It was a couple of days ago. This guy's a freaking blogging machine.
He's a machine.
This guy blogs more than I'm not even going to tell you. Let's move over to this tab instead. Share this tab instead. And here you're going to see all of these routes that have opened. But if we take a peek at the map that's right there, we're seeing Vegas to Syracuse, New York. My goodness. Akron to Hartford. And let's go look at the list of things here. We start from the new airports. Jacksonville, Florida. Jacksonville goes to Richmond, Columbus, Ohio, and New Orleans, Providence, Rhode Island, Norfolk, Hartford, Connecticut, and Vegas. That's Jacksonville, Florida. Never been. Have you been to? Anybody been to Jacksonville?
I've never been to Jacksonville.
Have you been to Jacksonville?
It's a nice place.
Never been. Vegas is a new hub, or there's going to be a lot of flights, or some flights. Here we go again. Syracuse, New York, Richmond, Virginia, Fort Myers, Florida, Charleston, South Carolina. There it is again. Huntsville, Alabama, baby. And Norfolk, Virginia, and Jacksonville again. So that's the gig there. Savannah, here we go. Savannah, your favorite place. Hartford, Providence, Columbus, LA, and Norfolk. Not much of a frequency, though, is it?
No, that's probably about as much as those markets could tolerate, though, with a hope of being profitable. But we'll see how it turns out.
You got to wait a week.
That's it. That's the unfortunate chance you take sometimes with these kinds of
Nashville to Akron, so Tulsa, Oklahoma, home of Brandon Neff and his slumlord housing project developments. We've got Hartford, Connecticut, Oklahoma City, and then we've got wait a minute, Tulsa. That's where American Airlines, they have their show,
maintenance base
there. Yeah. San Francisco, Richmond, Charleston, Louisville, Kentucky, and San Bernardino, which we looked at 7 times weekly to San Bernardino. Where would you go from SFO to San Bernardino, though?
I don't see that as a huge route.
Right.
Repositioning flight.
Doubtful. I think the San Bernardino is only San Francisco. If I looked at the map, we'll take a peek at that. But it's also using the Embraer 190, which doesn't have the first class gig. It's just 2+2 for the whole plane.
Yeah.
LA to Providence, Norfolk, and Savannah, Georgia. So Norfolk will also work for us to go over to visit Melinda's dad. In Norfolk is just, close to Newport News. Fort Myers to Vegas. This is a lot of... there is a lot. And here's the first class gig. So we will take a peek at that too. But I mean, at the end of the day, there are some crazy routes here and a massive expansion. But I think that it's going to be, if you are getting off the Status horse, this is the airplane to fly with. The 220 or the Bombardier C Series now the
Absolutely.
Airbus 220. I would venture in to say anybody having a different argument than what I just said here, that this isn't the most comfortable airplane you can be on if you are going to be in coach or not be dependent on upgrades?
It's definitely the most comfortable airplane. I think the seats on average are an inch wider than most.
Cool. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think that wraps it up. Anything else, Marshall, out there that you've seen in the last week or so?
I'm still basking in the glow of the first business trip, but I did learn that Delta is still using plastic cups in first class.
The humanity.
Yeah, that's my biggest observation from the week.
Right. Anything else that we've learned that we want to chat about? I think the only thing is that United finally got their 777 back in the air, the 200s with the Pratt & Whiskey engines.
Yeah, I think the Pratt engines are flying again.
So that's like 50 something plus?
It's something around that number, maybe.
And they're going to be now. I assume that they're going to get rid of or try and flex out, remove all of the 787s and 777-300 ERs and all of the overseas beautiful Polaris ones and start using these guys again, right?
I expect so. Yeah, no doubt.
Right.
You'll start seeing these on the Hawaii runs again. Yeah, they're going to be definitely to the beach markets and for sure. And I also noticed that they are also doing they've gotten rid of the triples from LA and going back to my flight was on a 300 ER and it's now on a 757. That happened to both my LAX to JFK flights. So, but anyways, that's what's going on in the miles and points world this week. We are past our time. Thanks for joining me, Mark. Actually, you're out of the picture now. How did that happen? Oh, because we were doing Marshall hogged in on your place. So sorry, I was late.
All right. Let's touch base again in a couple of weeks and see what's going on in the world. Decided not to touch on the Ukraine thing today. Fred, who is a dear friend of mine, his wife is from the Ukraine. It's not the Ukraine. Her dad passed away from shelling. He was hit 2 days ago, and I don't feel like talking about anything that has to do with Ukraine and flight routes and things like that. This whole thing is just very upsetting to me and unnecessary. And let's look at those routes over the pole and how flight times have been affected in a couple of weeks when things are a little bit more hopefully civilized. And everybody stay safe, and we'll see you guys in a couple of weeks. Marshall, thanks for joining.
Right.
Mark,
sorry I was late.
Hey, Marshall.
Yes.
See you.
Right.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Bye.